Hello and welcome to the Dance Yourself Brave show, where we get real about the struggles dancers face, from confidence battles to self-doubt, and how dance has the power to make us braver, stronger, and more unstoppable in every area of life. I'm your host, Mariana Santos, founder of Brazily Fitness. And whether you're a seasoned dancer, a dance instructor, dance lover, or someone who's always wanted to dance but feels a little intimidated to start, this show is for you. Expect honest conversations, inspiring stories, and simple ways to bring more dance into your life, whether that's in the studio, on stage, or right in your living room. And if you're a dance instructor, we've got you covered with tips on how to grow your dance business, attract more students, and create a bigger impact through your passion for movement. So if you're ready to step out of your comfort zone, own your movement, and dance yourself brave, let's do this. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dance Yourself Brave show. I'm your host, Mariana Santos, founder of Brazily Fitness, and I have another awesome guest for you guys today, Torin Ives. Welcome to the show. How are you doing this morning?
Doing so good. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to dive right into your story. So let's just start with a little bit of a background as to who you are. So Torin started dancing at age 3 and went to compete regionally and nationally with both school and studio teams. She was on the DePaul University Division I dance team for 3 years and led the team to a 5th place win for their first time competing at UDA in the program's history. After graduating with a film degree, she directed and edited a dance team documentary titled Call Them Athletes. I love that. The film won several awards and did a festival tour, finally finding a place on social media to spread the message. The message of how hard dancers work, especially at the collegiate level, and how little reward they get for their dedication. Now, Torin teaches at a few studios around the Chicagoland area and sets competition choreography and is thriving being the dance teacher she always dreamed of having. I mean, that last part, I really want to get into that, but let's start from the beginning. So tell us about yourself and how you got started with dance in the first place.
Yeah, for sure. So I feel like I have the story that I think a lot of dancers have where my mom put me in it when I was 3 because it was cute, right? And unfortunately for her, it's an expensive sport to love, but I fell in love and couldn't stop. So I just kept going from there and took it more and more seriously as I grew up. Falling in and out of love with it was definitely a part of the process. But yeah, took me to college dance. I got to do UDA and see all the best dancers that I had looked up to my whole life. And then after graduating, again, I just couldn't part with it. So I had to keep it around in my life. And with my experience on my college dance team, I knew that there was a lot of room for change and growth in the college dance world and the dance world in general. So I just wanted to do more and keep going and keep pushing. So that's where I'm at.
Amazing. So I'm really interested to know about, you said you are now the teacher that you wish, you dreamed of having, right? So maybe is that related to some of the struggles that you faced along the way? So on the show, we'd like to talk about, sometimes the behind the scenes, right? That people don't see. Sometimes people see dancers and think oh, they were just born talented and things were easy for them, and it's not the same case for me. So let's talk about, maybe some struggles that you faced along the way.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, there was so many teachers that I can remember having growing up that are still a very important part of my life. They were my idols back then, and I still look up to them very much as an adult myself. I also had some teachers that were not so great and that really made me not want to come to class and not enjoy it anymore when I was younger, and then especially at the collegiate level. That experience left a lot to be desired for me. I definitely had a lot of struggles when I was growing up with dance. Falling in and out of love with it was a big part of the process, but teacher-wise, I had so many teachers that I still to this day look up to, and they really mean the world to me. They made the biggest, most positive impact when I was young, and that stuck with me. So now I go to them for advice and anything like that. It creates a really lovely community. I also had quite a few teachers that made me not want to come to dance and made it not so fun. You made a great point too about a lot of people think it looks easy, and some people are naturally talented and it comes easy for them. But for those of us that are not naturally talented, it's a lot of hard work. So you have to want to be there truly. So if your teacher doesn't really provide that environment for you, then it's hard to want to be good, I guess is the answer. Same thing with college. I had quite a few struggles with not gelling with coaches or staff or those kind of people. And again, it really turns it into a miserable experience really fast because it is very hard. It's hard on you mentally, it's hard on you physically, everything it could possibly be. And the people that make it worth it are what makes the world go round, I think. So me becoming a teacher that I've always wanted to have, somebody that the kids can connect with and they feel comfortable with and safe around and they want to tell me what happened at school today, but they also want to work really hard. Having that relationship with the kids that I teach now is really important to me.
Yeah, and I can see that. I can see how important that is to you, and, like, I mean, your face just lights up when you talk about your kids, and it's beautiful. So how do you think that, going through this process of maybe, struggling with the teachers that you had, how do you think though, like, that has shaped you as a person today? And how does that affect your life? Like, obviously, we like that. I can see that that's made you a more empathetic teacher and things like that. But are there any other ways that you think that the struggles that you went through now, affect you today?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it affects the way that I interact with every single person in my life. Truly, dance is one of those things that it's not just a physical, right? It's not just a sport, it's an art too for a reason because it teaches you so much about yourself and about interacting with other people. So much about respect, namely respect for yourself, respect for your body, respect for your peers, for your teacher, for anything like that. It is such a demanding thing to do, but it has
Hmm.
come with me, I think, in every avenue of my life, treating others with respect, loving myself, treating myself with respect, your body, right? Like taking care of yourself. I think all of those things have kind of stuck with me coming into adulthood, for sure.
Yeah. And all important things. And sometimes, that takes a long time for people to learn, right? Like sometimes, women, especially, where like in your 40s is when you finally realize, wait a minute, like I'm important too, right? So I think that, learning to dance at a young age, like that definitely accelerated that process for you. So that's
For sure.
awesome. And what's something that you wish all your students knew about you?
Great question. Um,
Mhm.
do have a relationship with them. They know a lot about me, and I have no problem answering questions and all of that stuff. I'd love for them to want to know about me and want to know about my life. I think it makes them respect me more for sure, but I wish they knew that I would do literally anything for them. Like, I say this all the
Mhm.
time. I do not want kids. I don't want kids for myself in my life, but these kids that I see for an hour to a couple hours a week, I would do anything for them. I would, oh my goodness. I love them like they're my own, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're sad, I'm sad, they're happy, I'm happy. I would do absolutely anything for them, but I also am happy to meet them where they're at. That's what I
Yeah.
mostly want them all to realize. If you wanna be a professional dancer and you wanna come and train with me 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, great, let's do it. If you wanna take 1 class a week because it's fun and you love it, that's
Hmm.
okay too. I will meet you
Yeah.
where you're at, right? Like, I never wanna push somebody to be more than they
Hmm.
wanna be, 'cause I do think at the end of the day, dance is for you, is for fun, is for whatever you want it to be, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's where a lot of the issues with teachers come in. They're pushing students. I was pushed, right, very hard by some people in ballet.
Hmm.
I don't care about ballet.
Hmm.
I don't even want to be here. So, you know what I mean? Like it
Hmm.
when I was young, right?
Yeah.
Now I have a lot more time for ballet.
Yeah.
But when I was young,
Yeah.
I didn't wanna do it anyway, so if you're making it you're pushing me really hard but I don't want to be pushed. I think that's what
Hmm.
makes people dislike dance after they start. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just wish they would know that whatever you wanna do with it, that's fantastic, and let's make it happen. Yeah,
Yes. And that's great because, like you said, some teachers, maybe they're too, traditional, or they think that technique is the number one thing, and, all that stuff, and like perfecting all the skills. And I just think that, like you said, like dance at the end of the day should be for fun. It should be something you enjoy. Yes. Like you said too, right? Like dancers are athletes too, right? So there is like a grit to it. They need to, develop discipline and all those things. But at the end of the day, like if it's adding like stress and anxiety to your life, then I think that's when you have to kind of sit back and assess, the path that you're on, the people that you're surrounded by, and just kind of find a new path for
For
you,
sure.
right? But as a kid, that can be hard to do, right?
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes you need somebody
yeah.
to say that to you because when you're
Yes.
in class, it's a whole different environment. You know, it can be you
Yeah.
don't maybe want to speak up or say anything in class, right? So, yeah.
Or you think you're the only one who's struggling, right? And everyone else like loves to be pushed extra hard and just you don't, right? And you think you're
That you're
the like yes,
yeah.
exactly. It's so many different like things to consider, right? And that as kids we don't like we don't have that capacity to like kind of look at the big picture of things,
Yeah.
right? And kids do have that tendency of thinking like, well, I am the problem, right? Automatically,
Yeah,
right?
they're very, inside. So,
Yeah, and they think like if they look at a teacher and like, okay, she's like in a position of authority, she must know what she's doing, right? And that's I think when some problems can happen. But why don't we talk about good things now? How about like you share like one or two success stories from your students and like something that stands out to you?
yeah, for sure. I think as a newer teacher, I don't have, many examples of kids that have been doing this for a million years with me personally. My success, I think, comes in very small forms right now. Of I get a lot of my kiddos, especially my recreational kiddos, so they're not competing, they're not taking it to the next level. They're just here for a good time once a week. I get a lot of I can't. They see me or even another teacher or whoever do something and they're like, "Oh my goodness, that is so hard." Can't before trying. So anytime that I'm able to get somebody to try and
Hmm.
99.9% of the time they succeed because they
Hmm.
just were scared to start.
Yep.
Those are my successes of like, and you said you can't, so I don't ever want to hear you say I can't then if
Yes.
it's not going to be true, right? So if you don't know, so I don't ever want to hear that. Those are things that truly like make my world go round. Those little moments in class.
Hmm.
I also seeing the confidence, I think is my biggest success with my kids, especially my teens. Teens are at that
Hmm.
vulnerable age, they are
Yeah.
insecure and they're not quite confident in their selves or their dancing or their bodies or their lives or anything. And I've been there and I get it and I know. Man, do
Hmm.
I know. It's hard.
And it wasn't too long ago for you because you're pretty young. So
Years ago, girl, I was confused,
yeah,
right? So
exactly.
promise me I understand. But
Yeah.
yeah, just, like, seeing the confidence, I think, especially when I make them perform to themselves in the mirror, right? I'm like, "Do your dance standing in one spot, look at yourself in the mirror." She's your
Mhm.
worst enemy and your best friend, so
Yeah.
that's who you're trying to impress right now. I told
Yeah.
them, my teens, that comparison was the thief of joy recently,
Mhm.
and they looked at me like I was Dr. Seuss or Socrates or some like,
Yeah.
just the most smart person on the planet, and I was like, "Every time you compare yourself, right, you're just making life
Yeah.
harder. Perform for
Yeah.
yourself," and I saw in that class specifically, a couple of my kids were like, "Oh, I feel so much better." You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I think my successes right now are coming in very small increments, but they mean the world to me.
Honestly, like I would say that's bigger to me than like someone sharing, "Oh, I had a student who placed overall in this competition after I trained them." Like, yes, that's great. Like those are good success stories obviously, right? But I think like what you're teaching them about how, try, like don't just automatically say you can't. You're preparing them for life, right? And, like you said, some of them, like maybe they will go on to be professional dancers or teachers, but some of them won't, right? But what they will take is the fact that they can do hard things, right? And I think that I mean, that's why I named the podcast Dance Yourself Brave, right? Because I think that you can use dance as a tool to build your confidence and that self-belief, right? So that you can do the things that are big and scary, but that like that will fulfill you, right? And that you just have to go for it, right? And I think that having awesome teachers like you like is just like setting people up for success, right? And I mean, I say this all the time. I feel like a broken record, but I feel like with technology, these kids growing up with easy access to things, right? They're losing that sense of like delayed gratification, and like they want everything to just like snap their fingers and like they have it, right? But at the same time, we're seeing huge rise in like depression and anxiety because people are losing the capacity to deal with struggle, right? Like they just think that things should be
That was so good,
so.
yes, they do, they can't struggle anymore, like, you can't fight for
Yeah.
it, I have to yeah, for sure, oh my gosh, I have to tell them, "It's okay to fight for it, work for it." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what dance teaches you, right? But if you have the right teachers around too, right? So that's where you come in. But so I don't think you should be saying that like these are like tiny wins, like they're big wins, and these are the wins. Like this is what these dancers are going to remember for the rest of their lives, right? And it'll impact them in such a profound way that like maybe you don't understand that right now, but like you'll see it like as you go like grow in your career more and more, and you see more and more of those things, you'd be like, you know what, the little things are actually the big things, like that's really what's gonna
I
stick.
think that's
Yeah,
the
so
circle of dance life, right? When I think about
yeah.
the best teachers that I had, they weren't the strictest, they weren't the you know what I mean? They were the people that
Hmm.
encouraged me to perform the way I wanted to and to be who I wanted to be, and so that's what I
Hmm.
try to do, right? That's the circle of the dance
Hmm.
life.
Yeah, love it. So what would you say is the impact that you're looking to make in the world?
Yeah, definitely.
Big question, big
Yeah, it's a
question.
big question for sure, but I do think my work with my film is very important to me. Yeah, the collegiate dance world just has so much progress to be made, and it is such a nuanced situation. I have done so much research for my project, and I also just, growing up at a pretty big competitive studio, I had friends that went to every team around the country, right? And we stayed in touch,
Hmm.
and just hearing that my experience was not rare, that I was the common factor for everything, was really unfortunate. Just knowing how many dancers are going into collegiate, because they want a degree and it's either move to New York or right, like, or get a
Hmm.
college degree and still dance. So that's what a lot of us do.
Hmm.
And again, even after that, a lot of us don't want to be professional dancers. So it's still not that serious for some of us, and some of us wanna go to the best school in the
Hmm.
country and be very competitive and then become professional, right? So again,
Yeah.
very nuanced situation, there's a lot that goes into it, but my work is to just get collegiate dancers the respect that they deserve, and
Hmm.
helping universities and colleges understand how much the dancers truly do. Because I do feel like in college dance and in many avenues of dance, the goal is to make it look easy. Right? The goal is to
Hmm.
make it look pretty. We're wearing lipstick and we have our hair done and we have
Hmm.
pretty palms and we're making it look good, right? We make it look simple. But if you go and watch a practice, if you go and see us
Hmm.
weightlift, if you see us run 4 miles, if you know what I mean? All of
Hmm.
these things, that's the respect that we're missing. Yes, it should
Hmm.
be even more respected because we look good doing it, you know?
Yes, exactly.
But it's not. They just think that it's easy because we make it look easy. So my work of helping collegiate dancers get respect that they deserve, that's my biggest goal, I think, in my dance trajectory. Anything that
Hmm.
comes with progress, I would be more than happy to see. More than happy to help with. And we, spearheaded it for a second there. We were doing some big
Hmm.
stuff. I say we, me and my crew that worked on the film with me.
Hmm.
But again, there's a lot of roadblocks, and they're very strong and they're very built up, and they do not want to hear us. So,
Hmm.
yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but any progress that can be made in that department, I think is a huge goal of mine for my dance.
Yeah, well, it's a wonderful mission. And you know what you said about how, like, they don't take it seriously because we make it look easy. And I think that goes so deep to say that, right? Because sometimes we undervalue our services as dancers, or like, I'm more in like the dance fitness world, right? But in the fitness industry, this happens a lot, right? Where, because we're so passionate about what we do, it's really easy for people to take advantage of us, right? And be like, well, you love doing it anyway, so I shouldn't have to pay you a lot of money to do it,
Yes.
right? And because we make it look easy, right? They think like, oh, it's like, but you know how much work goes on behind the scenes so that it looks easy?
Yes. Yeah,
So you're paying for the value and not like that 1 hour of my time. You're paying for all, like, my experience and everything I've studied.
years
Yeah,
of
like
dancing that I've done to get up to here,
yes,
right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, the
exactly.
lack of pay and the lack of scholarship
Mhm,
and the lack of anything that goes into that is so mind-boggling to me. I got so many comments on the actual, like, film on YouTube, of people saying, "I don't understand how there's so many of you. Like, how is there so
mhm,
many of you college dancers that are willing to do this for nothing? Like, it doesn't even make sense
mhm,
to me." And we're like, I don't know,
yeah,
man. I just love it so much that I would do whatever. I'll take
mhm,
whatever because 'cause I'm just happy to keep going, and we totally get taken
yeah.
advantage of for that.
Yes, I'm sure. Like, I mean, oh my God, I see it so much in the fitness industry. And but at the same time, though, like, we're noticing that with the younger generations, they're not so like interested in working for barely anything. Right. But at the same time, like, and actually, I was just presenting at a convention this past weekend and I was speaking on a panel for group fitness. And we were talking about how the industry is now aging out. Right. Like, even at the convention, you'll see that they're more older professionals, but you're not seeing like 18, 19, 20-year olds going to the convention be like, oh, I want to go into the industry. And so we need to change things in order for the industry to survive, right? Like, because soon we're not going to have anyone who wants to dance or teach fitness, right? And people are going to need us, So we need to make sure that, like things have to shift, like all around, I think.
Yeah, for sure. It's so many
Yeah.
ways. I can't even imagine, like, if financially it wasn't possible for me to do it now, like, and again, I'm very, very thankful and very content with my studio and wherever I work right now, but a lot of people aren't. And if it's not possible, if it's not doable, if you need second and third jobs to make it happen, it's not gonna happen.
Mhm.
And that is a
Yeah,
scary thought, actually. Yeah, you're so right about,
it is.
especially at dance conventions. I never see instructors that are my age.
Mhm.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. We gotta get more, we gotta clone you to get more.
I'll be anywhere, everywhere.
Love it. So, what do you think the world needs more of nowadays?
The world needs a lot more love, so much love and
Mhm.
so much appreciation. And this is so random, but I love the little trend on TikTok right now that's like, almost forgot that like this is the whole point, and it's a beautiful family dinner or something like that, right? Of taking a step back in our lives and in our world and realizing
Mhm.
what matters and what's important and what makes the world go round truly. Especially in times
Mhm.
of such aggressive uncertainty, and
Mhm.
so much change. I think it's those moments, and then it comes down to dance too, right? This is what's worth it for me. This is what brings me
Mhm.
joy. So I think teachers too, this is huge. Teachers really, really impact their students in their mind frame that they come in with. If you come in with
Mhm.
the mind frame of this is my job, oh, I have to work, oh, I have to, right? That rubs off on the kids
Mhm.
so fast. They don't wanna be there then either. But if you're coming in
Yeah.
so excited to take on the day, to take on the world, to take on that class, then it translates
Mhm.
to everybody, and that is for dance, and that is for any job, and that is for any situation that you're coming into. If you're happy to be there, everybody else is happy to be there too. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. So I think that's what the world needs.
That's a big thing, but it's also really tough, right? Because even as teachers, we have bad days, right? And we're human, but it's just like maybe having some sort of routine to like kind of, amp yourself up before you go into the class and just kind of leave your baggage at the door, right? Because it's tough, right? And people do notice, like they can tell when you're having a bad day and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's hard. But also it's good to be vulnerable and show like, "Hey, I have bad days too, just like you."
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, and it is so important to relate to them on that too, for sure.
Mhm,
Going in, not feeling well. "Is Torin, are you sick? You seem a little, low energy." "Yeah, guys, I'm sick, but let's go ahead and, do our warm up and let's run and let's get it jumping?"
yeah.
But yeah, that goes into the negativity too, I think, in classroom situations of like, "I can't," or "I don't want to," or blah, blah, blah. I understand, I feel that way sometimes too, but, like, let's keep it to ourselves, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. It's a fine line for sure. So, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting to dance, or maybe they're curious about dance, but they're a little bit scared? They maybe didn't have the opportunity to dance as a kid, so they're looking at trying now. What would you say?
It is never too late. It's never too late to start. And as much as I say the kids can take it whichever which way and however seriously they want to, same thing for adults. If you have never taken a jazz class in your life and you would like to take an adult beginner jazz class, I promise you there is somewhere near you something that can satisfy that for you. Especially like in city areas in Chicago, namely. Thank goodness there's so many studios that I pop in and teach at, I pop in and take classes at, because you never stop learning.
Hmm.
And it's like $10 or something. You can just go one. If you hate it, you never have to do it again, right? But when you go, you'll take something out of it. You don't have to want to be the best person in the room. That's, in fact, the last thing you want if you're an adult starting out. Yeah, no comparing. Just be who you are,
Hmm.
go take class, have fun. At the end of the day, if it's just a workout, great, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
That's great for you too. It's great for your brain, it's great for your body. Never too late. There's always places to go to do it. There's also so many online resources. If you're like, nervous about going into a new space for the first time, been there for sure. Sometimes just going to a new studio, right, can be kind of nerve-wracking. You don't know where the bathroom is, you don't know where the water is. It's just, I get it.
Hmm.
There's so many little YouTube videos or dance workout classes that you can do online if you want, beginner ballet, learn your 5 positions, right? That'll help you feel better before you go
Hmm.
or something like that. Never too late to
Yeah.
start. I think it's for everybody. For
Hmm.
everybody. It's not it can be anything for anybody. That is just like the one thing that I preach till I die. It can be whatever you want it to
Hmm.
be. If you just want to go and hee hee ha ha with your friend and try it for the first time, great, cool. That's fine too, right? But yeah, never too late to start and take with it what you want out of the classes, for sure.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that that's the secret, right? Like to the same way you teach your kids about, just trying and not just automatically saying I can't, right? We have to remember that as adults too, right? Because as we get older, we put even more barriers on ourselves and we just like decide we can't do things,
Mhm.
right? Because, we've gotten to an age where like, maybe you're established in your career and you've gotten used to being really good at what you do. And then when you automatically like you think that I should be good at everything, it's like, no. Like if you're trying something new, like odds are you're gonna suck a little at first, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's so hard for adults to do something and be bad at it.
Yeah.
Paint
Yeah.
for the first time. It is not gonna look great, right? The first time you do it, it's
Yes.
it's gonna be what it is, and that's too. It's the same. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and just, like, allow yourself to be a beginner, allow yourself to make mistakes, and just keep going, right? And like you said, maybe bring a friend that you can, like, laugh along with, right? Like, so many different things, and online is huge too, right? Like, so you can just, like, practice a little bit on your lunch hour or something. If you're working from home, turn on a video, like, on YouTube and try for a couple of minutes, right? And then do that a little bit every day, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, "You know what? Like, maybe I'm ready to, like, step into a studio,"
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Take baby steps, take it as it comes, but yeah, don't be afraid to suck.
Yes, exactly. Before you become great at something, you have to first suck at it.
Think I was good when I first started? No.
Yeah, like, and I mean, I tell my story all the time about how much I sucked when I started, and that's fine. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
my favorite line with my kids is like, "And how old is Miss Torin?" Because I've been doing it for 20
Yeah.
years.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So why don't you share how people can get in touch with you and just like, learn more about what you do, or maybe if they live close by, maybe they can take classes with you or send their kids to take classes with you. Share it all.
So my Instagram, I post like if I'm doing drop-ins and things like that, which are for adults mostly. Anybody can take them, but there's at a lot of like adult primary studios. I always post those on my stories when they pop up. My Instagram is torin.ives, just my first name and my last name. I do have a website and need some updating, torinjives.com. I post some of my work and stuff on there if you want to check that out. I am Puzzle Box Dance Company, sometimes at Visceral Dance Company. I'm full time at Turning Point Dance Company with their Ignite competition team. That's where I'm my home base. And over the summer, I usually travel and teach with American Dance Training Camps, ADTC. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in Illinois, Wisconsin, and maybe California this year. So if your kiddo wants to do, or you want to do a little summer camp, those are really fun too, dance camps. But
Uh,
yeah, I think that's all my good stuff. And my email and everything is like linked on my Instagram if you want to have a conversation too.
Very cool. Well, I'll make sure all those links are in the show notes so it's easy for people to click and reach out to you. Well, thank you so much, Torin, for being on the show. I loved hearing about what you're doing and like just feeling that passion and that like, little twinkle in your eye when you're talking is so beautiful because I can see that this is what you're meant to do. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us
Thank
today.
you. I was my absolute pleasure. It's my favorite thing to talk about.
It works out well. Then we'll have to, plan a part two maybe.
Would love to.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning into the show. If this is your first time, do us a favor, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and leave a review because that's actually the best way for other people to find our show and that we can continue to spread the love for joy and confidence through dance. So thank you again for tuning in and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Yourself Brave show. If today's episode got you hyped, inspired, or just made you want to bust a move, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear today's message. Sharing is caring after all. And hey, don't forget, your courage is already in you. Sometimes you just gotta dance it out to feel it. Catch you next time, keep shining, and keep dancing yourself brave.